Hi, I'm Jo, the Creative Director at Take Two, and I'd like to acknowledge the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, the traditional custodians of the land where Take Two is based. It won't surprise many of us that the slow, deliberate act of stitching can be a way to resist the pace of modern life. But what if we take it further? What can fabric remember that words cannot? Rosalind Wyatt is a British textile artist and calligrapher whose work has been exhibited internationally with private commissions and collaborations spanning fashion, music, film and television. Her process is part research, part intuition and part quiet listening, creating works that feel like conversations across centuries. In this special episode, filmed in London in Rosalind Wyatt's studio, we meet an artist who stitches time into cloth. Rosalind works where words meet fabric, where handwriting becomes thread, and garments become vessels for stories. She calls it writing with a needle, embroidering fragments of lives directly into the clothing they once touched. And while Rosalind's work is incredibly detailed and delicate, it's also deeply expressive. Breathing through mark making, as I very much learned in this episode, is not only important, it might even help the ink go further. Let's dive in. Hi, Rosalind.
Hi.
I'm so excited to be here in your beautiful studio in West London. Thank you for joining us today for this interview. For those who are joining us, we are dropping this episode on YouTube and Facebook and also via podcast. If you're just listening in, I highly recommend you download the episode and take a look at the show notes at the same time so that you can see all the beautiful images of work and really visualise what Ros is going to be talking about today. So, how are you feeling today?
Great.
What have you been working on?
Lovely to have you here. Yeah, I mean, I normally work on several projects concurrently. So that's sometimes, at the moment, it's in painting. So I paint quite large scale. It's quite abstract. A lot of gestural mark making, inks, collage. And then I have a textile commission on at the moment. And then I write. I write quite a lot as well.
Fantastic.
So busy, always busy.
Yeah. And for someone who's simply listening in or who hasn't come across your work before, can you describe what it looks like and what it feels like and what it's composed of?
Right.
Big question.
Big question. So I've come from a calligraphic training background. And so most of my work is now embroidered. It's normally sort of centres around a technique called writing with a needle, where I hand stitch the handwriting of a person into a garment that they might have worn to tell the story of that person.
And what was it about handwriting that drew you in the very first?
Yeah. I think handwriting is the most sort of direct evidence we have of a person after their voice.
Their history and their personality.
Everything goes into that mark. Yeah. That's what I see when I look at handwriting.
Yeah.
Because it's the breath, it's the hand, it's the brain going right to that point.
Yeah.
And actually it's not about censoring it at all or editing it. It's how a person fills space on a page.
Yeah.
And so when you stitch that, it enhances that voice, that quiet voice of a person.
Yeah. And is there something about textiles and the combination of text, handwriting and textiles that is of particular interest or hooked you in?
Yeah, I think I felt that right from the beginning, actually, that there was this... I've always loved cloth. I've always loved garment and fashion, and I find the sort of the sensual, the haptic feeling of cloth very alluring. And so I think the words came first. I was always interested in stories and books and the sort of arc of a story, the narrative. And I think it's when I was at college, actually, I saw an exhibition called, well, it had Agnes's jacket, and she'd embroidered into this jacket her thoughts, and she was actually a psychiatric patient.
Oh, wow.
In the Prinzhorn collection. And it was just so arresting to me, this the way a whole person could sort of be left in a garment.
Wow.
And so from that moment on, I kind of thought, okay, I wonder if you can write, what does that mean to me to write with a needle? That was a sort of first thought.
I guess it's slower, isn't it, to write with a needle? Because handwriting can be quite quick and thoughtless, unless you are a calligrapher. Yeah. We don't often stop and think about the way we're writing.
Yeah, yeah.
So to then spend time stitching that writing is quite an interesting idea, that you're giving something that energy or time.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we're humans first, we're people first. So even, the calligrapher, when I write, I'm scrappy, I'm quick, I'm free, I'm volatile, I'm messy, so it's the humanity that I'm looking at in the handwriting. Yeah. And I think, what is it that draws you in? It's sort of like a pattern. Handwriting is like a pattern on a page. It's like a piece of art in itself. Yeah. And when you begin to look at all the things that go into handwriting, like the slant, the pressure, the movement, we're always going from left to right, but in Eastern traditions, it's from top to bottom, top to bottom. So all of these things are points of observation to guide you to the person who wrote it, who left their mark.
So if you're looking for, if it's not a commission with something specific behind it, if you're looking for a piece of text to work on in one way or another, what's the thing that you look for, or what are the few things that you look for that will make you think, this one needs...
I mean, to start with, it wasn't commission. It was just, it was when I was at college, and I felt very at home in libraries and amongst an archive. We were talking about this earlier, weren't we? And the idea that you could just call from an archive some Persian writing, a letter from the 1920s, I don't know, Churchill's archive. You could almost pick anything and then just look at it. And what makes me want to stitch it is, it's very difficult to describe. It's sort of, you're drawn in by it. You kind of want to know more about that person, I suppose. I think it's a personal thing. Yeah.
And can you describe some of the different projects you've worked on across your career? What are some of the most diverse things you've worked on, or most interesting projects you've been exposed to?
Yeah. Well, I've been working on this project called The Stitched Lives of London for quite a while. And that is the idea of creating like a modern day Bayeux tapestry, but in garment and handwriting.
Oh, wow.
And it's about the people of London. And I just sort of started doing that and talking about it. And then people started telling me their story. And then I started getting some extraordinary donations from people who would sort of say, well, here's my story. Here's my story, stitch it. So I think one of those was Stephen Lawrence, the Stephen Lawrence piece, where I met Baroness Lawrence, and I told her about the project, and she said, yes, I want this. I suppose in that situation, for those of you who don't know, he was a murdered black teenager in London. It was a big London story. She wanted to commemorate him, to commemorate and memorialise his life, really. And so she saw what I was doing as a way to do that. then it's just sort of grown from. I mean, I remember once, I've got quite a large textile collection, as you can probably imagine. I came across a pair of shoes, Edwardian dancing shoes, which were satin. They were sort of satin-covered leather. And I just sort of thought, oh, God, I wonder if I can write on those, you know, if I can stitch on those. So it's always a sort of thing of challenging yourself and keeping yourself engaged. And then I think where it starts to get really interesting is when people ask you to design in a different language, which isn't your own.
Yeah.
Because then you're forced to sort of see lettering as a pattern, as an abstract mark, and to understand that behind language is a whole culture. There's a whole sort of evolved culture behind a language, which is very important, because what comes first, I think, the language forms the people.
Yeah. Yeah. The way they communicate and the way they document.
Yeah.
The way they might draw first and then mark make, and then that evolves.
The sound of a language.
What are some languages you've worked on or worked with?
Well, I spent, I think a sort of seminal point for me was going to Japan, because, you know, having learnt how to write in a Western way, with a straight edge nib, suddenly you go to Japan and someone gives you one of these.
Yes.
And so the whole framework of your mark making changes.
Yeah.
And what was so lovely about this particular group of practitioners was they kept saying, just look at the mark.
Yeah.
Just look at the mark. And actually that's what you realise is sort of running through a lot of art. Like, I don't know, imagine a Kandinsky painting. You know, they're just marks in space.
Yeah.
So the more we can look at calligraphy in that way, the more we're free to draw on sort of the freedom of that and the expressiveness of that.
Rosalind's currently holding a beautiful, big, really big Japanese brush. What are the bristles made of on this one?
I think this is horsehair.
Horsehair.
And this is some kind of bone, I think. Yeah.
It's interesting because it's a bit like what came first with the type of mark making. Is it do you select the type of brush because you're looking for a particular kind of mark, or it's a bit chicken and egg, isn't it, too, about the materials that you use that control what you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, what the philosophy there is around the approach.
Yeah. I mean, again, I think you learn from looking at anthropology and history and how, you know, the handwriting or the lettering has changed, you know, with people, really. So if you think of Roman lettering, that's very monumental. It's very structured.
Yeah.
But behind that is a geometry. You know, there's a geometry of harmony. Yeah. Harmony, really.
Yeah.
And so that's why the letters, that's what they stand on. That's like the skeleton, if you like. When you're life drawing, you have to know the skeleton, you have to know the muscles.
Yes.
And then you can draw.
You learn the forms.
Yeah.
I remember when I was studying, because my background is also type, but typography, so the much more formal design approach to it. But we learnt about Roman lettering when they were carving onto stone. They actually needed those serif forms. So serifs are the small feet at the bottom of the letters. They actually needed those forms to stop it cracking down the stone. So there was this sort of interesting functional requirement that is now probably sometimes you use a serif for decorative purposes or to make it look old. But that incredible function just to stop the stone from cracking. And
yeah, exactly. So I think all the things have to come together, don't they?
Yeah.
And this is the thing with text and textile.
Yeah.
If I'm stitching a handwriting and it needs to be legible, then, that's, it needs to impart some information.
Yeah.
So that the viewer needs to be able to, so this was a bit of a map actually. And it's just a sample, but it has Nottingham on it and London on it. And so, you need to know exactly what it is. Is this decoration? Is this embellishment? Is this information? And then what is the atmosphere that you want to impart in that lettering?
Yeah.
And then we're all totally individual and human. And I think that's what makes it interesting. So even if, you spend hours and hours learning to write in a particular style, everyone will have a different style within that.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it. We don't want to do away with that.
What's your connection to handwriting from when you were young and when you were a child? Was it easy for you to learn handwriting?
Gosh.
Were your teachers telling you had neat handwriting or messy I'm not sure if you can remember, but some of this is fairly fundamental, right?
Yeah, it is actually. Well, it's funny because my mum, so I went to school at sort of 4.5, I guess, 4.5. And apparently the summer before I went to school, the headmistress head teacher said, well, she needs to be able to write. And apparently I couldn't write. I was just drawing a lot.
Yep.
And so my mum, she had a calligraphy board and she had a dip pen, and that's where it started. And I've actually got this little certificate, not here, but at home, for when I received a little certificate for calligraphic work of a high standard. But when I say that, it's not, I was never interested in, I remember getting intensely frustrated with, the ink, it doesn't flow properly and the reservoir falls off. And I was actually quite a messy kid,
Yeah.
And so it's like, I think what I enjoyed was like the black ink. My mum said I was just so obsessed with, it's this ink, and you felt so grown up, I suppose, to be able to use a dip pen and ink. And so it's that slowing down for learning, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I'm also thinking of, like in Japan, they do a lot of kusho, where they write in the sky. So you're sort of breathing into a letter, before you write it, so that it becomes part of your body.
Oh, wow.
I think Montessori's like that. Is it Montessori teaching? Are you familiar? They have little sand letters. My friend's a Montessori teacher, and they have these little cards with the shape of an A, and so the idea is the child, brushes their finger around the letter A
before picking up
the tool. So I don't know. I don't remember. I think I liked composing text. I liked writing stories. That's what I really liked doing. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that
right.
story. It's often interesting to learn when the seed was. I mean, you have now certainly conquered the tool and the craft, right?
Well, I don't know about conquered. I'd never say that. I'd never ever say that. It's a lifetime.
At least earned a livelihood from it, perhaps.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's.
And do you also, a little birdie may have whispered in my ear that you also do work on film sets and things like that. Can you talk to that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, so film has always sort of been in my background. My dad was in TV, my brother's a filmmaker. So I think it's kind of who you grow up with, isn't it? And the things you hear. And so one of the earliest jobs that I had was sort of being a runner on a film set. And I grew up in the time when, going to the cinema was a thing, and cinema, we loved cinema. We went every week, and, TV and telly and all of that. So it's always been there, right?
Yeah.
It's always been there. And then I just think, so what I do now is I'm like a quill consultant. So
we're getting out the quills.
We're getting out the quills. We're getting out the quills. So, I mean, these are really sort of beautiful things, I think. Feathers are the most beautiful things, aren't they? Look at them. So these are goose. These are goose feathers. The best ones. You see the other day, and this is what happens. You can actually just pick up swan feathers all the time. If you walk around any of the parks, I think the moment swans are molting, so you can just pick up the feathers, and they're just, obviously they're white to start with. And there's a whole sort of tradition as to how you cut a quill, how you cure it and cut it, which is historical. It's sort of just a historic method, really, of heating the barrel of the quill, and then you cut it. So are any of these actually cut? That one's cut. That one's cut. And then you might cut, I don't know, 20 quills, and then, I don't know, 5 of them might work, you know, because it's an organic thing. So my job on a film set is to train the actors how to write. Right. Because, I mean, a bit like now, you know, you've got a camera here, you've got, you know, you try and formulate your words and, you know, say you need to write a line of text in a particular style. Then you just want to look confident at doing that. And so my job is just to sort of ease the actor into that, and just also be on set to make sure that the actual thing is working. Yes. You know. So is it quite often the actor who is writing? Depends. Depends on the director. Sometimes the director wants the actor to write, and sometimes it's my hand that writes. So it could be, the way that works is that you work very closely with the graphic design department. Yeah. And they tell you the period of the film, they tell you the props, so you actually get a pen. You know, they say, this is the pen, this is the prop. And it's like, crikey, okay, how am I going to make that work, you know? So it's not necessarily quill makers making the prop quills for you to write? No. Oh, well, it could be, I could supply the quill. So these were special quills they wanted a decorative element on them. But sometimes if it's a pen, you know, if it's 1920s, then the props department will find that pen and then they'll give it to me for a few hours to work with it. Yep. And then I also have to figure out how to make that, well, write in the style of the other props. Yeah, yep. And that's the scary thing. So if it's me live writing, you know, you'll have, okay, here's a beautiful document that I prepared earlier and it's the deed of whatever, and we just want you to finish this line. Okay, yes. And so I practice that handwriting so that it's going to look correct. And then, you know, there we are on set and the camera is there and it's action. It's like, off we go, and the camera is right on my hand. And one go. Only one go, because how many prop manuscripts do they have? Not many. Not many. But hey, look, it's... You know, that's fascinating. Yeah, it is. It's a bit of a performance. It's a bit of a performance. And and sometimes they use it and sometimes they don't. And, you know, but it's just fun. I just love that. I just love being part of a crew, you know. It's just really... Yep, the buzz. Yeah, the buzz of it. So, let's do some brush calligraphy. Sure. Yeah. So, first thing, we just sort of little bow to your brush, just... Okay. And it's a really nice way of just sort of familiarising yourself with the tool and just get a real sense of the freedom of that in your arm, in your hand, whatever. And then let's just let it drink the ink. So if you want to go in, and then if you hold it like this, and it won't dribble. Okay. You sure? Hold it. I'm absolutely sure. I feel like I'm going to get dribbly. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Right, so have you got your word? Have you got your name?
Oh, I could do my kids' names.
Go for it. Go for it.
Just
straight in.
Okay.
Straight in.
All right. I'll start with
Yeah. Now just breathe with it.
Arlo. Ooh.
Arlo.
Yeah.
Oh, gorgeous name.
Oh.
Hello, Arlo.
Okay.
Where's Arlo?
Oh, beautiful.
Okay. So they can have a little conversation.
Yeah. The two Arlos.
The two Arlos.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Let's do.
Who's next?
I've got 3 kids.
Fab.
Just thought I should warn you.
Any pets? Got room for pets
No,
on here?
no pets.
No.
Husband.
Yeah, probably put
We'll
him on
put
there.
him on too.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do Rosie next.
Oh, you've got a Rosie.
I've got a Rosie. All right. Now I'm feeling like I need to.
No, just breathe. Just breathe.
Oh, I didn't drink enough.
Didn't drink.
Clearly enough. Clearly should be drinking more, huh?
Yeah. And just try and think. That's it. Yeah, that's it.
All right. Calm down. I've got to calm down.
Well, it's really, you know what? If you really, really breathe, then the ink goes further.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If you really breathe.
Take some deep breaths for Lewis.
Yeah. Think of it as yoga with a brush.
Do I need to do this dab dab, or do I just...
Don't really need to do dab
Okay.
dab, but I understand why people do dab dab.
Okay. Is dab dab a technical term?
Very. Dib dab even.
Lewis.
Lewis.
Oh my gosh, I feel like the ink went further.
There you go.
took a
It
breath.
did, didn't it? Except I spelled his name wrong. Sorry, Lewis. I spelled it Louis.
It's okay. He's still learning to write his name
Is
too.
he?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's only 4. So.
Oh. Should we put their ages on there?
Yeah,
How old
sure.
is Arlo? You put it that side, I'll put it this side.
Arlo is very nearly 7.
Oh my goodness. So should we just put 7 or 6?
I don't know if
going
Todd's
on?
going to want his name on there when we get to my husband, but we'll do the kids.
Okay.
His age, sorry. We'll do the kids.
Okay.
Arlo is almost 7, so let's go for 7.
Yeah, I think 7's a good number. There we go.
Oh, you do the cross through as well?
Yes.
I get a bit of flack for that.
Do you? Oh, yeah. Okay, Rosie. How old's Rosie?
Rosie is 9.
Ah. Hmm.
Oh, okay. We're drip dripping here.
It's all right.
Okay. Oh, drip
Drip.
dripping everywhere.
Light bit
9.
of drip dripping. And Lewis, you said, was 4.
He's 4.
Okay.
He's 4.
So let's give him 4 little.
Oh, good idea. Yeah, I love that.
It's almost like a little foot.
1, 2, 3, 4. Boop, 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 boop.
Yeah. Okay, and then your husband?
Todd.
Todd. Where are we going to put him?
Well, I'll squeeze Todd in there.
And then maybe you need to go on here somewhere.
Okay, sure.
We've got a whole family
I'm sure.
page
Joe.
here. Joe, yes. Okay.
I'll just squeeze in around everyone
You
else,
squeeze-
you know. Just fit myself in as you do.
This is going to be your foundation piece for lining a very special room.
Yeah, I might just crop that bit off.
Joe. There we go.
Oh.
And then it needs a date. A date, today's date.
Is it the 8th
I
of
think
August?
it is, yeah. Or just 2025.
There we go.
Okay. I'll just do a little seal like that. There you go.
Beautiful.
And there. That's it. Do you want to do a signature? Would you?
Yep, sure.
So with signature, just
How come I've got ink all over my fingers and you don't?
because you're just going with the flow and it's
It's
coming
fine.
to meet you. It's fine.
Yeah. The
It's
ink
fine.
is coming to meet me.
Yes.
All right, I'll do a little
A little, yeah, lovely. Look at that.
squidgy widgel. Thank
Beautiful.
you. Love it.
You can
Thank
be my
you,
assistant
Rosalind.
any day.
I will come back and
Yeah.
I will be your assistant
Love it.
person. Perhaps practice a bit more first.
It's all there. Look at it. That's your whole family on a page in this moment.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you for letting me be part of it.
Thanks
My goodness.
for telling me to breathe.
Yes.
I need to do that more often.
Yeah. Well, you really can see that, can't you? It's just like the breath follows the line.
Yeah, yeah.
Really, really does.
These beautiful marks.
Yeah, and actually this where you get the white coming through, that's actually special. They call that flying white in
Flying
Japan,
white.
because it's the white of the page coming through the ink. And so all of those marks are, you know, there's...
Flying white.
Yeah.
I love that.
So you see here where, you know, I could see you were thinking, oh, I'm running out. But I was thinking, no, just go with it. Just go with it, because it's lovely. If it had all been one consistent ink flow, how boring would that have been? Yeah. But it's all these little incidental things, even the blobs, even the marks, even the way that's bled into that, just makes it totally unique. Yeah. I mean, that will never, ever happen again.
Yeah, that's remarkable. Thank you.
That's art.
Can you talk us through some of your work? We could show a few pieces and perhaps learn a bit more about what you are working on or have worked on.
Yeah, so maybe if I talk you through the sort of collage. So this is a collage. So I think, you know, what we've been talking about is something very controlled and sort of focused, if you like. And so my way of just sort of letting go is collage and painting. And I also love the fact that you can make your own canvas. What I normally do is I work with my old calligraphies. So what you can see, this is a layer of several pieces of paper. And then I sandwich into it textile like this. Yeah. So last year I was working on a landscape. And that's this. Yeah. So this was of the Swiss Alps. And I think the thing that I really love is that I'm beginning to see that there actually isn't, there's this sort of seamless transition of a calligraphic mark and a painted mark. So whether you're painting a mountain or whether you're writing a letter, you're employing the same part of yourself. And after all, you know, if we sort of to think of it, I don't know, philosophically or esoterically, you know, what is it? I mean, word is a place and a place is a word. And you know, when you go to the mountains, you can almost feel the vibration of that place. Yes. So when I'm sitting painting a mountain, it's like you're just there, you're just in the space. Yep. And so with this I would have started with very small sketches and then just come back to the studio and then create the collage, which is found textile. So I really enjoy that. I really sort of enjoy using, I don't know, brightly bit of textile and using that as a background and then putting paper on top of that and then painting on top of that. Yeah. And then around the outside of this one, she wanted the 4 seasons all on one piece. So
So this was a study.
This was a
study.
For
the finished commission.
Exactly.
For a client who wanted the 4 seasons.
4 seasons.
In the Swiss Alps.
All in one thing. All in one thing. And the brilliant thing about her is that she loved colour. So it's like, yes.
We like that.
Yeah. We like that. She loved colour. So I ended up making these flowers. And I don't know, it you know, all of these things come very quickly, you know, just into your head. And I made the collage and then cut the leaves out of them and then formed them, and then they went all the way around the painting in sort of summer, spring, winter, beautiful, autumn.
We'll pop some images in the show notes of these as well. They're paper, really delicate paper flowers with wire in really bright, gorgeous.
Yeah, bits of textile.
Swiss-inspired springtime.
bit of velvet, a little bit of velvet in there. And you know, this is the fun thing about being an artist. You get to make things up, right?
Yeah.
You just sort of think spring and think, okay, spring flowers, and then just make up your own flowers.
I'd never thought too much about how I think a lot about mark making and I think a lot about writing. So mark making in an art sense and writing in a design or an everyday sense, but I'd never thought about the crossover there. So if you're drawing the mountains, you're using mark and gesture, thick and thin, pressure, in the same way that you might use it when you're writing.
Exactly.
I've never thought about the connection there. It seems obvious, but I'd never thought about it.
It is obvious. It is obvious. But I think you have to sort of get to that place of I don't know what that is. I don't know, just seeing the connection, feeling it, I suppose.
Yeah.
You know, knowing that it's there.
Beautiful.
This is just to show that the handwriting can be sort of any scale.
Can I?
Yeah, please do.
So this is a really delicate piece of silk or muslin?
It's actually muslin, and I think someone told me because it's got this beautiful fern embroidery on it that it comes from New Zealand.
Yeah, it does look like a silver fern. What's this really delicate handwriting that you've stitched onto this piece?
So I think that's an example of when you get these stunning sort of antique bits of cloth and you just think how, well, first of all, I love this because it actually had the laundry mark right in the middle. That's actually, someone's written there. Hey, right in the middle.
And an ink splotch.
And an ink splotch, yeah, sorry, that was me.
It's trademark.
But you just think, so what type of lettering could you put on there that sort of creates a whole, if you like, so that it doesn't overwhelm the embroidery, that it's thin enough to create one piece. And actually this is some, I think it's Latin.
Yeah.
And
I don't know, but it definitely looks Latinish.
I think. I mean, I've got whole drawers of bits of text, and often I just go through them and then just it sort of just put that on there.
It's almost abstracted in some of the it's handwriting, but it could be many things.
Yeah. And I love working with this very, very fine thread. It's like it's called a silk, Purcell silk. So it's very thin. Anyway.
Would this be the smallest you've worked?
Yes, I'm not going any smaller than that.
And what's the biggest?
The biggest is that's quite interesting actually. We were talking about the lab coats, weren't we? And I really got the sense that the drawings of the children, some of which had died, so it was really, really sad. They were just so beautiful and so free. And it's that thing of like so much emotion goes into one mark, and how do you enlarge that without losing that sensitivity? So in fact I found some sari silk, and someone told me about these strips of sari silk, which are just different colours of blue, indigo, and we stitched them together and then flattened them, and it sort of created a sort of two-tone mark when you put it on the garment. So a drawing that size went onto the back of a coat.
Wow.
And yeah, I think you have to.
Do you want to talk a little bit about that project? For those who don't know about it.
So that was for the Institute of Cancer Research, and they said, okay, we want to take the testimonials of cancer survivors, sufferers, and those who've passed away, and we want to tell their story. And initially we talked about just doing it on one lab coat, and then I discovered that the Institute of Cancer Research, they've actually got many labs and they all work together. So their whole philosophy is of sharing knowledge and working together. And I said, well, why don't we do, play on that a bit rather than one, take a lab coat from there and a lab coat from there and a lab coat from there. So you've got 3 lab coats. And the beauty of that was that they actually belonged to the leading scientists.
Right.
So we actually used them. So they could recognise them. So that was lovely.
Yeah.
And when I got them, they actually had their pens in them.
Oh,
You know, they had a few notes in the pockets.
Yeah.
And I said, perfect, don't do anything, just give them to me. And someone had scribbled, you know, one of the scientists had scribbled his name on the back. And, you know, so I got to meet the scientists, and then I got the family liaison officers were incredible. And we just collected 10 stories. And worked very, very closely with the family. So all the families were happy. And we got them either to donate a drawing or a piece of text, or I remember in the case of Laura Nuttall, she was 19 or 16 when she was diagnosed. She actually wrote a letter to cancer and donated that. And so then you're just left with this extraordinary mine of very, very precious words. And how are they all going to fit onto this? And how are you going to honour each voice? And so what we did was we sort of took an arm off one and put it on another coat, and took a pocket off one. So it was really, really a sort of, I don't know, it became a family. Those 3 coats became a family. And across the sort of landscape of garment, you had the different voices.
Oh, embroidered.
All
Oh,
hand
beautiful.
embroidered. Absolutely all hand embroidered,
Oh, how lovely.
And then actually for embellishment, because it's such a dark subject, you know, and I sort of spoke to the scientists, and a lot of them are just spending their lives looking down telescope and looking at the cells. And I said, can we see some pictures of these cells? What do they look like? And they actually look really beautiful, these cells. You know, they're bright and they're colourful and everything. And so I worked with another very talented textile designer and said, well, can you make me some cells, you know, in brightly coloured fabric? So we use them as decoration across the coats as well. Because I just thought you've got to lighten it. You've got to, you know, and strangely at that point of departure, you know, there's a real beauty as well. And I didn't want to miss that either.
Beauty in life.
Yeah.
The life lived.
Yeah, the life lived of that person. Yeah,
beautiful.
Absolutely. And how do you honour that? Respect it. Yeah.
Wow. Thanks for sharing that.
That's right. It's very special commission, actually.
Yeah. We have a segment that we do called Every Artist Must.
Okay.
And it's a series of prompts where I start the sentence and then you finish it, and it can be a single word or a single statement, but whatever comes to mind.
So,
are you game?
Yeah,
okay.
Definitely.
Let's do it. So the first one is every artist must own.
A studio.
Helpful, yep. Every artist must create.
From themselves.
Lovely. Every artist must avoid.
Toxic company.
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah.
Every artist must learn.
From someone good.
Every artist must remember.
Why they're doing it.
And every calligrapher or artist who's interested in text must
forget all about it. Start again. Forget about it.
Oh,
no, do you know what I mean? I mean, as in just, I mean, I think all of that can weigh you down a bit, and I think it's about getting free and really doing, you know, what buzzes you, what turns you on, you know. And so if you're carrying that, I don't know. I mean, there are some amazing calligraphers out there, you know, who do sort of heraldic stuff, and I just, but I think you have to you almost have to go beyond your learning. You have to go to the limits and then beyond. Does that make sense? I
It
don't know.
totally makes sense.
I don't know.
Rosalind, thank you so much for
Oh,
the
my
interview
pleasure.
today. Thank you for letting us
Thank
come
you.
into your studio and sit with you and look at your work. And thanks also for the little bit of play with the brush and the ink.
Yeah,
What
no,
a pleasure.
You were great. You were great.
I'm so grateful.
Okay.
Thank you so much. And we will catch you on the next episode. Bye for now.